Let's continue our discussion for the topic random variables. And we have this objective illustrates probability distribution for a discrete random variable and its properties. So let's define probability distribution. It is a mapping or list of all values of a random variable to their corresponding probabilities for a given sample space. It is also referred to as probability mass or probability function. For example, let x be the number of heads observed when a coin is flipped twice. What is the probability of getting an outcome of head? So, nag-flip daw tayo ng coin twice. So, sa first coin po natin, possible outcome is head and tail. Dalawang coin po ang finlip natin. So, outcomes will be head, 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 tail, tail, head, and tail, tail. Sige po. I-list natin ang ating possible outcomes. We have head, 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 tail, tail, head, and tail, tail, which is dapat po. So, over 4 yan. At ang kinukuha po natin is probability po na ang maging outcome daw ay head. Ayan, probability na maging outcome ay head. So, dito sa possible outcomes natin, dalawa yung head, isa ulit yung head, walang head. So, now, ano po yung ating x? So, let's present x, ayan po, which is the number of heads. So, ano po yung mga number of heads natin na nakuha? We have 0, 1, and 2. Yan. So, ano daw yung probability na makuha natin ay heads? Kapag 0 po, walang head, sa apat na yan, isa po. 1 out of 4. Kapag isa naman, may isang head. Kapag nag-flip ka ng coin twice, dalawa po. So, 2 out of 4. And then, kapag dalawa naman na head, sa apat na yan, merong 1 out of 4. Paano mo malalaman na tama yung ginawa mo sa probability of x? Dapat po mag-equal yan sa 1. So, 1 plus 2, which is 3, plus 1, which is 4, divided by 4, which is 1. Dapat po mag-equal siya sa 1 or 100%. So, ilang percent ngayon yung probability na makakuha ka ng 0 na head? 1 divided by 4 times 100%. That is 25%. And now, ang probability na makakuha ka ng isang head? 2 divided by 4 times 100, that is 50%. And ano ang probability na makakuha ka ng dalawang heads? That is 1 divided by 4 times 100, which is 25%. And when you add 25, 50, and 25, that is equal to 100%. Okay? So we have here the properties of probability distribution. Number 1, the sum of all probability should be 1. O lahat daw po ng probability, yung sum daw po dapat noon ay mag-equal sa 1. Hindi pwedeng magkulang, hindi pwedeng sumobra sa 1 or sa isang buo. At syempre, kung tinransform nyo siya into percent, dapat po 100%. Hindi pwedeng kumulang sa 100%, hindi pwedeng sumobra sa 100%. Next, number 2 po. Yung probability daw po natin should be confined between 0 and 1 only. Ibig sabihin, probability of our x is greater than or equal to 0, pero less than or equal to 1. Meaning, in between lang po siya ni 0 to 1. Hindi siya pwedeng mag-negative numbers, yung p of x mo, hindi pwedeng mag-negative numbers. Tapos, hindi naman siya pwedeng lumagpas sa 1. Okay. And last, the probability that an except doesn't occur is 1 minus the probability that the event does occur. So let's say, ang kinukuha mo po is yung mag-o-occur doon sa probability. Nakuha mo siya. Pero ang tinatanong ko is yung hindi mag-o-occur. Kukunin mo muna yung mag-o-occur, tapos ima-minus mo siya sa 1. Yun naman yung hindi mag-o-occur. Halimbawa, ang nakuha mo po na probability na present ngayon, na present lahat ngayon is 98%. Ayan. Siyempre, yung probability na hindi lahat present ngayon ay 2%, which is always equal. Dapat siya sa 100%. So, 100% minus 98%, kaya siya 2%. Kay 1 minus yung probability ng A mo. Okay? Now, let's have the discrete probability distribution. It is consists of the values a random variable can assume on the corresponding probabilities of the values. Meron naman po tayong separate properties ni discrete probability distribution. So, number 1 and 2 po, given na yan kanina. Number 3 po, the listing is exhaustive. Ibig sabihin po, lahat po ng possible outcomes po ay i-include po natin. Hindi pwedeng hindi natin siya isama. And then, the outcomes are mutually exclusive. Ibig sabihin po, yung outcomes for possible outcomes natin ay hindi po pwedeng mag-occur at the same time. Kasi po sila ay mutually exclusive. Now, let's have this math drills. All you have to do is to determine whether the following statement is discrete probability distribution. You will write DPD or otherwise write not. Number 1. So, dapat nakaano po tayo sa align po tayo doon sa properties po ng discrete probability distribution, which is yung diniscuss po natin kanina. Ano ba dapat yung property ni P of X kay discrete probability distribution? Sige, number 1. DPD ba yan? Discrete probability distribution ba yan? Or not? Sige, what is the answer? Of course, the answer is not. Ma'am, bakit siya not? Kung mapapansin po ninyo sa P of X, meron ka po dyaang negative 0.3. Ano bang sabi natin kanina kay P of X? Dapat po greater siya or equal to 0, pero less than or equal to 1. Eh, nag-negative na siya. So, meaning, hindi po siya discrete probability distribution. Okay, number 2 naman. Pansinin po ang ating given na X and probability of X. Sige nga, is that a DPT or not? Yes, that is a discrete probability distribution. Ma'am, bakit? Ang sabi po natin kanina, dapat ang P of X po natin ay mag-equal sa 1. At kapag pinag-add mo po yan lahat, yan po ay mag-equal sa 1. So, that is a discrete probability distribution. Okay. Now, let's have our example for the probability distribution. Number 1, suppose a coin or tossed thrice. Let y be the random variable representing the number of tails. Construct the probability distribution and draw the histogram. Okay. So, given na po dyan yung possible outcomes. Ayan na po lahat. Ilan yan lahat? 2, 4, 6, 8. Ayan, 8 po lahat. And then, yung number of tails. Kasi yun po ang kinukuha dito sa ating. So, gawan po natin siya ng probability distribution, which is X and P of X. So, ang X po natin, syempre, is yung number of tails na given, na nakuha. So, ano yung mga X natin? 1, ay, meron palang 0. 0, 1, 2, and 3. Hanggang 3 lang. 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then, probability ng number of tails. Ilan yung probability dyan out of 8 na makakuha ka ng 0 talaga na tail? We have 1 out of 8. Next, 1 ang tail. 1, 2, 3. So, 3 out of 8. Next, 2 ang tail. 1, 2, 3. 3 over 8 then. And then 3 ang tail, we have 1 over 8. At kapag pinag-add mo yan, dapat mag-equal sa 1. Yun po yung checking ninyo. 1 plus 3, 4. Plus 3, 7. Plus 1, 8. 8 divide by 8, 1. So, tama po. Ngayon, okay ka na sa probability distribution. Draw ka ngayon ng histogram. Ano pa sinabing histogram? That is a graphic presentation of our data. Ano mangyayari doon sa histogram? Okay. So, dito po sa baba, this will be your x. And then sa left side, this will be your p of x. Ano yung mga x mo? You have 0, 1, 2, and 3. Ano yung mga p of x mo? Nag-start ka sa 1 over 8. 1 over 8, 2 over 8, 3 over 8. Since 3 over 8 naman ang pinaka-highest, hindi mo na siya nidagdagan pa. Okay. So, kapag 0 ang x, ano ang p of x? 1 out of 8. So, this will be the presentation. Next, kapag 1 ang x, 3 out of 8, or 3 over 8 ang p of x. Third, kapag 2 ang x, 3 over 8 ulit ang p of x. And then last po, kapag 3 ang x, 1 over 8 ang x, ang p of x. Ayan. So, that will be your final answer. So, this is the probability distribution, and this is the histogram. Next, example number 2. Box A and box B contains 1, 2, 3, 4. Write the probability mass function, same din yun, probability distribution, and draw the histogram of the sum when one number from each box is taken at a time with replacement. Pag sinabing with replacement, ibig sabihin, yung kinuha mong number, ibabalik mo rin. Okay? So, hindi maapektuhan yung mga susunod mong trials. Sige. Ano muna ang gagawin natin? So, tingnan muna natin yung box A and box B. Dalawa. So, ang numbers daw na meron ay 1, 2, 3, saka 4. Yung pangalawang box, ganun din. 1, 2, 3, saka 4. Ano sabi dyan? Find the sum of the number. Ayan. Taken at a time with replacement. So, sum lang po. Sabihin, ipag-a-add po natin yung given na numbers. Umpisa natin. 1 plus 1, 2. 1 plus 2, 3. 1 plus 3, 4. 1 plus 4, 5. Next, 2 plus 1, 3. 2 plus 2, 4. 5, and 6. Next, 3 plus 1, 4. 3 plus 2, 5. 6, 7. 4 plus 1, 5. 4 plus 2, 6, 7, and 8. So, these are the possible outcomes. So, ilan yan lahat? We have 4, 4. So, total of 16 possible outcomes. Okay, ngayon, let's create the probability mass function or the probability distribution. Given po natin yung x, and then probability ng x po natin. So, ilan po ba yung x natin dyan? Ilan yung mga nakuha mo? We have 2. Ano pa? Nag-start tayo sa 2. Meron tayong 3, 4. Kapag naulit po, hindi mo na siya iuulit pa sa x ha. Isang sulat lang. 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Tapos, sa p of x, bibilangin mo lang kung ilan yung 2 dyan sa ating possible outcomes over sa 16. Kasi yun yung total number natin. So, yung 2 dyan, 1 out of 16. Yung, wait. We have, next is 3. Yan. We have 3, 2 out of 16, 4, 3 out of 16, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 16, and then 6, 3 out of 16, 7, 2 out of 16, and then last is 8, 1 out of 16. Sige, add natin. Dapat mag-equal sa 1 yan para masabi natin tama yung ginagawa natin. 1 plus 2, 3, plus 3, 6, plus 4, 10, plus 3, 13, plus 2, 15, plus 1, 16, divide 16, which is equal to 1. So, tama po. Yan. So, okay na po tayo sa probability mass function. Now, let's draw the histogram. The same pa din na ating x po ay yung nasa ilalim, and then ang ating p of x is yung nasa left. So, ang x natin ay 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is our x. And then, ang ating p of x, we have 1 over 16. Next, 2 over 16, 3 over 16, and 4 over 16. So, this is our P of x. So, nag-stop ka sa 4 over 16 kasi naman yung highest. Okay. Now, if your x is 2, what will be the P of x? 1 over 16. If your x is 3, your P of x is 2 over 16. Next, if your x is 4, 3 over 16. If your x is 5, 4 over 16. If your x is 6, 3 over 16. If your x is 7, 2 over 16. And last one, if your x is 8, P of x will be 1 over 6. That will be final answer. Okay? Next, let's have example number 3. So, dito naman, ano naman ang pinapahanap? Using the probability model below, meron na po tayong given na probability distribution. Ayan na siya. Find the probability of getting at most 2 tails when you flip a coin 4 times. Probability na mismo yung hinahanap, so ibig sabihin, ang final answer nyo po dapat ay naka-percent sign. In percent. Imumultiply nyo po siya sa 100%. Okay? Kasi probability na po mismo yung ating sinusunod. So, start tayo. Given si probability distribution, ang sabi po, find the probability of getting at most 2 tails. Paano ba pag sinabing at most? Ibig sabihin, yung pinakamarami. Ayan, pinakamarami, 2 tails. At most 2. Pinakamarami, hanggang 2 po. Ayan. So, ano-ano yon? Ano-ano yung hanggang 2 na yun? So, we have the probability of your x is equal to 0 plus the probability if your x is equal to 1 plus the probability of your x is equal to 2. Kasi sabi po, at most 2. So, pinakamataas ay 2. So, from 0 hanggang 2 po. Okay. So, next, kukunin mo lang po yung probability dyan. X ay 0, 1 over 16. X ay 1, 4 over 16. Plus X ay 2, 6 over 16. Add mo lang muna sila lahat. 1 plus 4, 5 plus 6, 11 over 16. Ba't natin inad lang? Kasi pare-pareho naman ang denominator. So, add the numerator po, copy the denominator. So, 11 over 16. 11 divided by 16, that is 0.6875. Times nyo po yan sa 100%. 100 po, and then write percent sign. So, final answer will be 68.75%. dapat po naka-percent sign po tayo. Okay? Or naka-transform po sa percentage. Okay? Next. Ito naman ngayon. Example number 4. Dito naman, isa lang ang problem pero tatlo po ang pinapahanap. So, the following data, okay, given na po yung data natin, show the probabilities for the number of cores sold in a given day at a car dealer store. So, for letter A, you will find the probability if your X is less than or equal to 2. Para pag sinabing less than or equal to 2, ibig sabihin, pinakamalaki yung 2. Less than po or equal kay 2. Lahat ng less kay 2 hanggang kay 2. Ito po yun. So, ano na lang ang gagawin mo? Given na yung P of X. So, at lang. 0.100 plus 0.150 plus 0.250. So, pinag-add mo yan lahat. That is 0.5 times 100%, that is 50%. Okay? Next, letter B. Find the probability if your X is greater than or equal naman kay 7. Greater daw kay 7 at equal kay 7. Nasaan yon? Ito yung 7 mo, tapos lahat ng greater sa kanya. Ito naman yon. So, kunin mo na. 0.050 plus 0.040 plus 0.025 plus 0.015. So, add mo po yan lahat. That is 0.13 times 100%. That is 13%. Okay? And last, we have find if the probability is X is greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 5. O, nasan kaya yon? Yung X mo daw ay greater or equal kay 1. O, nasan yan? Ito po. Greater or equal kay 1. Pero, ang sunod na condition naman, less than or equal kay 5. So, ito po yun. Ayan. Okay? So, kunin lang po natin lahat ng given from 1 to 5. So, that is 0.150 plus 0.250 plus 0.140 plus 0.090 and 0.080. So, add po yan lahat. That is 0.71 times 100. That is 71%. And that will be the final answer for the given A, B, and C. Okay po? For the mean and variance of discrete random variable and some special discrete probability distribution, please watch the separate video about this topic. Thank you for watching this video.